you're not already getting those. And with that, you also get an email on Tuesday telling you who's presenting on Wednesday. So it's just a way to keep you informed. With those events, we have coming up October 11th, Universal Music Day. October 14th is Tech Talk. If you're learning about valuation of your business, want to know more details, that's that. October 16th is Startup Grind. And we will have a link to it to know who the guest speaker is on the 16th. October 18th is Bar Camp. It is a full-day event full of educational sessions on entrepreneurship, what it means to get off the ground. It's a great, great program. If you want to attend, October 21st, Encore Town Hall in Bevan Roble can give you more information about that. And October 22nd is my most exciting event. That is the grand opening of Tech Garage. It's just 2 blocks down the road. We are officially open for business as of today. So if you are interested in co-working, if you're interested in seeing what it's like, to walk down, pop in. If you're interested in being part of our startups that we work with and we help grow, you can see myself or CJJ. But October 22nd, 4 to 6, we'll have food, we'll have beverage, we'll have music, we'll have great speakers, and you can come check it out along with everybody else in the community. So I think we got everybody in from outside, almost. So that's great, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe Hamilton with Savvy Card. Welcome, Joe.
Good morning. Hi. My name is Joe Hamilton. I'm the COO of Savvy Card. Very happy to be here. We actually presented here about 6 months ago. Our CEO, Dave Etching, did that. I think I was here, of course, attending. I think we had about half as many people. So, the times I've come and over the months since then, it's just really awesome to see how this has grown. And now we have standing room only crowd. It's really a testament to the great job that the team is doing and support for entrepreneurship and safety. So high five to everyone here. Appreciate it. So a lot of people obviously weren't here the first time we came, and so and a lot of people were. A lot of people are familiar with Savvy Card. I see a lot of supporters in the audience. So what I decided to do today was kind of give a half intro to what Savvy Card is for the folks who weren't there, and then give an update on the cool things we've been doing and how we've been growing to people who were there and are familiar with us. Because I don't think we've been able to just get everybody in a room or a good amount of people in a room to kind of brag on what we've done so far and how we've grown. We'll warn you in advance, for those of you who don't know what Savvy Card is, that it's big. It's a platform that can do a lot of different stuff. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And so, there will be unanswered questions that you have. We'll get some of those during the Q&A. But we're just down in the Bank of America, formerly known as the Bank of America building. We always invite visitors. We have a great training staff. The core product is free, so you can get your own, start to learn how to use it, and come down and get a training and all that good stuff. So, knowing that in advance, there's a lot to it. I'm sure there'll be some questions that you have. So at the very core, Savvy Card is a mobile engagement platform. The problem we're trying to solve is that consumers are mobile and businesses are not. Stats show that you can see the trajectory of use of mobile devices. I think this year 70% of all web traffic will run through mobile devices, and that's going to go up towards 90% in the next couple of years. So basically, in the near future, the only time folks will be using desktop computers consistently will be in the workplace, and maybe not so much even there. And we're hoping to solve that problem. And the problem with what exists out there now are, you have a couple of options for engaging with consumers on mobile devices. One is websites. And obviously you can make a responsive website, and that's a great sort of middle ground to a website that looks good on a mobile device. But the sort of nature of a website is a lot of information, it's a lot of pictures, lots of pages filled with text, and it's meant to be for someone who can sit down for 15 minutes at your computer and just comfortably browse through it on. And if you've ever tried to read a lot of text on a mobile device, it's not so fun. A lot of times you're on the go, you just want the information that you need, and so you can take action. And so Savvy Card is all about action. The second option is mobile apps. Mobile apps do a lot of cool things, but they have a lot of limitations. I personally believe that mobile apps will die out in the next 10 years. And the reason why I believe that is because the only reason to have a mobile app is to interact with your phone in such a way that a web browser can't. It used to be that you couldn't interact with your camera without having a web app. Now you can. It used to be you couldn't store data on your phone without an app. And now with HTML5, you're already beginning to be able to store small amounts of data on your phone. So a lot of the features that are great for an app are needed. You need an app before you won't need chose to solve that by a web app, which is kind of in between. It's a website that is specifically made for mobile devices, has a lot of the functionalities of an app, not all yet, but a lot of them. But most importantly, it's easily spreadable. So when you think about an app, as far as sharing you with someone else, why people have apps, why people have websites, and why people have business cards, it's all about connecting with other people. So with an app, you obviously have to go to the store and download it, and if you want someone else to use that, they have to go to the store and download it. And so SavvyCard is meant to connect people together without having that barrier. Remember the Bump app that came out a couple of years ago? It was a really cool way for people to spread their information to each other. But if you met somebody at a networking event and you wanted to bump with them, and they didn't have the Bump app, you guys got to shut everything down, get them to go to the store, download something, sign up for something, and that kind of magic will sort of go on. So the idea with this is that we have a magic button right here called the share button. So the share button takes the SavvyCard, and you can share it by text or share it by email. You just simply click that button, put their phone number in, and a little message, and you share your card with them. And if they can receive a text, they can use the SavvyCard. They don't have to sign up for anything, they don't have to download anything. They receive a text, click the link on the text, and they're interacting with this great representation of you. So that supercharges what the business card is. Now, obviously, people have websites in addition to business cards, because websites can offer so much more than what a business card can. And now we've kind of married that into the business card, and we can do a lot of that stuff on the SavvyCard. So it passes and shares like a business card. That's the functionality of a website. And some examples of those buttons, we have the Find button here. So if you wanted to go to Candace Porter's office, you click the Find button. It shows a nice map of where her office is. You can map it, and it gives you turn-by-turn directions. In the real estate space, we have a Listings button. This is a 1 minute, right? Fly fast, so get ready to run. So platform we can talk about later. SavvyCard can be used for anything. We're heavy into the real estate space right now, but we can do it for events, people, places, products. We actually did one for a TEDx event where we ran 1,100 tickets at an IBM concert. The Global Commerce Summit with IBM. We ran 1,100 tickets for our TEDx event through that. And there's an example of the card. SavvyCard.com/TEDx if you want to check it out. Now we're heavy in the real estate space, and we have launched with Miami Realtors Association, Pinellas Realtors Association, and we actually just signed the Fort Myers Association, which is a big update for people who are looking for updates. Last Friday's another 5,000 person organization, full paying retail customer, which is great. So is that my guy? All right. So Fort Myers, lots of real estate agents out there, millions, endless amounts of them. We're going to get them all. How we make money is to insure ourselves through the home buying process. This is how this is some of the potential for making money. In our future, we just launched our vendor program with Remax Metro. They've been a great supporter of us. We'll give a high five to them too. We've added a Get Mortgage and Get Insurance button to their card, which Fisherman's also sold us for the rest of the after that.
Yes, I'd like to know, how does it interact with product? Because I have a product on the market.
Sure.
I'm almost done it for, and I was just curious how I would use your app to make my product work.
So just whenever people say app, I'll make sure we correct on the web app, right?
Your web
Not a
app.
native app, nothing to download, don't have to go to the iStore, don't do that. So we built a thing called property cards. So an example of how we productized a SavvyCard or made a SavvyCard appropriate for a product is our property card. So if you guys go to savvycard.com/BonnieStrip, which is an agent that's a big supporter of SavvyCard, and if you click on our listings button, it has all our featured listings. If you click on one of those, it actually pulls up a SavvyCard just for that house. And that house, that button set completely changes. So it's got a list, it's got a photos button, a features button, a schools button, so you can see all the schools that are around it. It's got a find button, so you can match the house, which is having an open house or whatever. So we basically took a product that is a house, made the appropriate button set for it, and that has all the beautiful benefits of SavvyCard, which is you can share it by text, email, add it to all your current marketing. Is that sort of answer your question?
No.
Okay, that's right.
It's a single product, okay? It's a water bottle. We'll get in that water anyway. A water bottle.
Sure.
So how is your web app going to help me, because I'm doing an Axe Direct Response commercial.
Sure.
How's your web app going to tag on to that and help me make one?
Sure. So the two benefits that would affect you with SavvyCard: A, it's an easily spreadable pill of the information that you want to get to people. So you would have your water wallet, your company, and the methods. ordering it right on that card. If you did print ads or TV ads, you'd have a short code text, great water to a number and get back this card. More importantly, you would encourage people to share it. This is about expanding your referral network. So that share button, someone buys the water bottle, they love it. All they have to do is hit share and send it to their sister, to their brother, to their parents, and say, this is awesome, you should buy this. And one thing I didn't get to is that all those shares are tracked. So if your Jim, or Jim buys your water bottle and he thinks his brother Fred would love it, he texts the card and you get an email that says Jim just texted your Savvy card to his brother Fred, and you'll know that happened. So it starts to quantify the movement of all these cards as they share. There's a back end that you can log into and review all of your shares historically.
That answers your question.
So first of all, it's a great product. I downloaded it 6 months ago. I'm curious about the user adoption. Since you guys, your customers so far have been things like, Realtors Association. I have friends that are realtors that they get 30 emails a week from that association. They pay attention to maybe 1% of it. I'm curious, when you get an organization like that, let's say there's 5,000 members, what's the traction? How quickly? What's the rate of adopting people that are actually using it?
I will say that the rate of adoption is amazing with people we're in front of. And as with any company, our challenge is always to get in front of them. People do ignore a lot of the association emails because they get so many of them. So we go door to door. We have a sales team that goes to brokerage. The brokerages adopt, they love it. And then we have an email drip campaign. We have a social media campaign that goes out through those brokerages. And we tend to get pretty high adoption rates. We just signed a brokerage in Miami last week. We did our first email campaign and presentation to 11 people, 9 bought it. So 2 didn't. And in real estate, there's always about 30% of people aren't really active. So getting 9 out of 11 is great. We anticipate getting, they have a total of 100. We anticipate getting 50 to 60 together there. As far as our overall usage as a system, we're getting about between 50 and 150 signups a day. But that's growing. Yesterday we got 385. That's one of our best days ever. And we're starting to get a little bit of that hockey stick usage now. Savvy Card is definitely a product because it's a paradigm shift. The idea of texting things to people, asking for their number, and that whole bit, it's like any great new sort of platform. It's a paradigm shift. But as people are getting used to it, they see it once, they see it twice, they see it 3 times, which is where we're getting to now. The adoption is starting to really feed on itself. So it's good. It's really good.
So compliments to the idea. It's awesome. I love the fact that I won't have to collect business cards anymore because I still have a stack that I can put in my contacts. Outside of that, if I were to go create my own Savvy card, are the buttons customizable or do I have to pick certain sets of buttons?
The buttons are not customizable. We have our basic free product has about 16 buttons you can choose from. All the basics, call, text, email, fine. But if you wanted to say, if you wanted to have a button that was specifically labeled, you can't do that yet. There's a lot of flexibility within the buttons. There's a social button. You can put links to your social media. There's a My Sites button. You can put links to whatever you wanted to. So you can get people to whatever information you want through those buttons via links. But
There's 16 options, but I don't have to go and pick the house set or the real estate set.
right now, for the free product on the website, it's just there's one set with a bunch of. I think we actually have more than 16 options, but you can have up to 16 on the card. There's actually a back to it where you have more and it flips over to the back.
Can you share it via text and email? Is there any possibility in the future of sharing via social media?
Absolutely, yeah, you can do that now. So we are doing a share by social button where it does it for you, but because Savvy Card is a website, you just simply take the link to your Savvy Card, like you would if you wanted to post about the web page you saw, and put it in your social media, and you're off and running. But this thing works on anything that can get a web browser. If your refrigerator can get a website, you can use Savvy Card on your refrigerator. It's a website, so it's not an app.
Excuse me, are there plans to integrate presence or location-based? Because I heard someone talking about how you're going to promote it.
Yeah.
So if I was sitting here and there were 10 other Savvy Card users in the building, what can you do to push their content or their contacts to them?
That's a great question. It's something we actually have a patent pending that we're very excited about. It's called Get Card. So we already are using location-based services on the card. In our real estate product, for the property cards or for the listings button, there's actually a search near me, which uses the GPS from the phone and shows you all the houses that are available in a 1 mile or 3 or 5 mile radius from where you're standing at that point. So it's great if you're storing neighborhoods. But we have a thing called Get Card, which is coming where wherever you are, you'll be able to go into a website and it will know all the Savvy cards that are around you and be able to gather those for you. So there'll be 2 phases of that. The first will be static Savvy cards. So if I'm standing in the sundial and I want all the Savvy cards for the businesses that are there, that's easy. Once we get into moving people in different places, then we have to look into geofencing and things like that. But that's something that's definitely coming down the pipe, and we have a patent pending on that process.
So what's the paid option?
So there is no paid option for the general user right now. We make our money by distributing through aggregators, so the associations pay us, or we launch with some chambers of commerce. They pay us a basic rate per member per month plus a setup fee, and then we sell upgrades to the agents and then rev share that back to the associations, and then we sell like the Get Mortgage Get Quote button to vendors, and we rev share that back with the brokers. So our kind of model is the association should pay, so they have skin in the game. It's so important we find the association has some skin in the game, but transition that to having skin in the game because they're making a profit off of us. So they pay, then as we build the program, they get to net, they get to neutral, then they start making money, and so they're engaged because they're paying, and they're engaged because they're making money on the back end. Same thing happens with brokerages as well. They pay us to deploy for all of their agents, then they, we sell to their partners for real estate, mortgage insurance and all that, and now RE/MAX is actually profitable in using our system. So they have deployed this great thing, this great marketing tool for all of their agents, and they're actually profitable on it. Yes.
Yeah, I guess the end goal is for me as a non-business professional, just a consumer, to have a Rolodex of Savvy cards, right?
Yes.
So that my friends have shared. And I understand that you're getting to your market through associations, non-dues revenue, pushing out that way. As a non-business person, that's just a member of the general public, what sales funnel are you using to get it into my hands and for me to start creating my Rolodex?
Sure. So right now, first thing we're doing is branching into non-real estate businesses through the affiliates. Right now, we have a thing we built called Tampa Bay Home Directory. The idea is that takes the 600 affiliates that the association has and rolls them all together in one site that's going to be an Angie's List competitor. We think it'll be better than Angie's List because it's local and it's all tied to your local association. In addition, the realtors have recommend buttons on their cards that let them put those vendors into that. Now, any kind of goods, services aggregator needs to have discounts built into that. They need to have, A, you find trusted services, but B, you also come back because you want to see what the latest deals are. And so because of that, we're going to be introducing, that will give people the reason to get their own card because then they'll become part of this this network of discounts, and they'll be able to put the cards that the vendors they frequently use on their card. But next step, this is next year and the year after that, is the buttons will open up. And so you as a consumer will have buttons that mean something to you. It could be movie times locally. It could be anything you like, link to your favorite band. You'll start to be able to collect these buttons on your Savvy card and it almost becomes your personal mobile shareable desktop, right? So if you think this all the stuff I think is cool, I've got it here, easy access to all of it, and I can text that whole lot to somebody else if I'm, if I want. This is my favorite restaurant guide, or all my favorite restaurants you can text this to. So there'll be a lot of ways to collect things that you care about, and you want your card and have a reason to keep it.
I have a service that I want to market rather than tangible product. Some way I benefit from using the Savvy card.
Yeah, Savvy card is heavier to the services industry because the services tend to be driven by referrals. So the idea is that you have existing customers and you say, you train them to put this card on their phone, just save it a bookmark to their phone, and encourage them to share. This is why we get good traction with Chambers of Commerce, because it now instantly puts the entire chamber at the fingertips of any other chamber members. They can just go to the directory and forward the Savvy card for that person. And then, because it's tracked, you can introduce incentives to that. So you can say, if you're a good customer of mine, for every 15 times you share the card, you get a free service or something like that. So because of that quantifiability of the card shares, you can introduce incentive programs and get people to move forward. It's mainly supercharging the network.
Do you have an affiliate program?
We do have an affiliate program. It's not official. It's sort of we're building it. But we work with a lot of digital agencies, and because they can tell us through to a lot of the customers. And yeah, absolutely. There's that. We just worked with a gentleman who's going back to Zambia in South Africa and is going to be selling Savvy card there instead of it's more of a wholesale and then retail pricing for it, so you can sell it.
When you send out a Savvy card, the big difference I see is you're getting the phone number or the email of the customer, whereas a business card, your information is going the other way. So who owns the data, the phone number, the emails? Does your company have the right to email or market to them?
Absolutely.
Do agents do? And if so, are you making money on saying, hey,
Yeah, so first point is when you share the card, so if you say I want to share this by text, there's a little checkbox at the top that says include recipient's contact information, include your message. So if I want to send Bonnie Strickland's card to my friend Jim, and I say, great to meet you at lunch the other day, you know, if you're looking for a condo, talk to Bonnie, and I leave those two checked and I send it, Bonnie gets the email that says Joe sent his card to Jim, here's the number and a little message, and all that's available on Bonnie's CRM. She's the only one that sees that. She actually sees the share information. If I uncheck those boxes and I send it, Bonnie still gets that email, says Joe shared your Savvy card, but it doesn't say who, it's too anonymous, basically. So I still get credit in Bonnie's eyes for the referral, but she has no idea who I sent it to.
But just as a follow-up, it seems like it'd be more like I'm the individual agent, I'm sending my card to you, the potential home buyer. So now do I have, as a potential home buyer, your email and phone number, because that's valuable to me.
Sure.
Whereas normally, I don't really want to give my info out to a realtor, I just give your current home to you. So just curious if you're capitalizing on getting that information. This seems
So
like a good
the
option.
realtor, by definition of how Savvy cards are shared, you're asking for their phone number or email to share it to them. But we also have a QR code you can scan if they don't want to give out the information. You can also use a shortcode. So you can text Bonnie to 78889 or whatever our number is and get the card that way too. So there are anonymous ways to receive the card without having to give them any information. If the person didn't want to give that information, you have to go one of those routes. But of course, every card is a URL. So you can simply say, if you want my Savvy card, go to savvycard.com/Bonnie.
I guess more of my question was, is that a line of revenue for you?
No,
Okay.
no, the company,
You know,
Savvy Card's company is zero with any of that information. Yes, that's all solely for the people who choose to give it within that little circle of that we draw. We're not an information company in that sense where we're using that card at all.
I'd like to allocate my 90 seconds so you go back to those business slides you ran through real quickly.
Okay, so this is an important one too. Which ones do you want to see?
It's you the financial model.
Sure.
You had a bunch that you could just real quickly look through.
I'm going the wrong way. There.
Keep going. You're like 3 at bucks.
So this is just number of realtors. This is where we make money. So this is where we make more money other than the association. So in this Tampa Bay home directory here, we're able to, and with this buy home and sell home process, which we're still building, we have a checklist step that people are going to go through it. First step, if you want to get a home, is get pre-qualified. Do you need help getting pre-qualified? Yes or no? If yes, we send you information on how to get pre-qualified. If no, you check it to move on to the next one. So it's a tool for the user that gives them opt-in to receive information on helping them through that process if they need it. If they don't, then they don't get touched at all.
Do you get a commission if they're using those services?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. This is another big win for us, and this would be an update for the folks who know Savvy Card that weren't there before. We actually rebuilt, so Pro had a service called Our Design, which was a non-responsive IDX feed plugin that they put into all 200, 150, 200 sites that Pro sells, and those realtors organization through their internal agency. We built replacements of that and have swapped that out now, and they're using ours. So now, and that saved them almost 50% on their monthly fee they paid. This is why this is going to become a really powerful addition to the Savvy Card platform when we go to associations. Not only do they get the Savvy Card platform, we can actually insert almost a digital agency and improve their digital agency by throwing in this IDX product that they may be paying $4,000 to $6,000 a month for, and they can use ours, which is fully integrated in Savvy Card, which of course helps engage with Savvy Card.
Can you set it up to where different pieces of equipment can talk to each other and exchange information automatically?
So it's a website, so anything that gets a website, you get the Savvy Card and all the buttons should work on it. And whether you have to click it with a mouse or whether you can click it with your finger, you should be able to fully engage. Now, if you want to call someone on your desktop, it'll pop up a button and say, this is the number. If you've got Skype, it'll use Skype or Google phone, it'll call with that. If you're on a phone, it will actually engage the phone. So Savvy Card's adaptive. It knows what platform it's being accessed on, and it will change some pieces of its behavior based on that.
And can it track, can you use it like to track wild animals like birds and dolphin around here?
I want to do that. That's the first I've heard of that. I think I'm putting that forward.
The city of St. Pete is something, they have a Blue Beach program they're working on or something, where, it says take a book out there. Nobody uses books anymore, okay?
Oh, you mean for a guide, for like a mobile guide, yeah.
For like,
Yeah.
like if you're a tourist and you show up, there's a bird walking by, you can take a picture of it,
Yeah.
it'll show what the bird's name is, the local.
It's sort of
And
a.
there's that pesky seagull that steals everybody's sandwiches,
So we launched with the city of Temple Terrace. They're huge on code violations. So one of our next one is we're gonna build in the city of Temple Terrace, how to actually report code violations, which is a variation of what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
No,
Thanks for
no,
showing.
no,
Oh,
I have a
sorry.
question. No, my question was, is there anything that we should ask you about that you didn't get to cover because you were so rudely cut off?
By clapping. So, yes, how the community can help us, we actually have a good sized list for that. And one cool point that I wanted to make, so Savvy Car is a paradigm shift for mobile, right? We want to be the social platform, the business platform for mobile. And why we think we can do that is because some big change that needs to happen is brand parasite. So now, when you go to the iTunes store, right, you want to look up somebody's music, you want to get,